Hey, what's going on, Conscious Crew? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, joyous, adventurous, safe, and Carisha-free weekend, girl. Popping out good puss on this God-given Saturday. Okay, you already know what we're here to get into, girl. We are covering the Bigfoot saga, girl, aka the Jamie Foxx controversy, girl. It is turning into all type of trilogies and eulogies at this point, child. Okay, we're gonna get into some things in this commentary. I'm gonna connect some interesting dots. I think I got this thing figured out a little bit, so we gonna get into what we do best, girl. Critical thinking, critical observations, right, wrong, or indifferent, baby. We try to have informed hypothesis, and we do what, y'all? Make it make sense, especially when it damn don't. Okay, so before we get into the thick of it, you already know what I need you all to do. Please thumbs up the video until it is absolutely stuck. Okay, also thumbing up helps support not only the YouTube algorithm, but it also supports the YouTube's notification system. So when you thumbs up a video right here on this platform, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another conscious crew member and telling them ass to get their ass up into the sanctuary right damn now. Okay, so I need you guys to knock on the conscious crew's doors, okay, who are not getting notified, who have no idea that we're out live and in color, by giving me an old nasty thumbs up. And this is something that is essential for all supporters of the platform to do, whether you are a bush baby actively in these mother-loving streets, or whether you are a part of the sensational replay gang. Thumbs up until it is absolutely stuck over or south. Shout out to all of the new subbies, girl. Shout out to the 43.6K and counting. We are already on our way to 43.7, honey. Down in the pond, that old nasty piece of 44K. I could not do this without you all. You guys are literally working in unison with me to grow the platform. This is why it's so important to engage, to thumbs up, to comment. All this stuff helps YouTube to promote the live stream, and then your favorite content creator can, you know, level up on these whores, okay, and we can keep going to the next level. So thank you all, and shout out to all of the supporters for literally just that, supporting. Okay, once again, I cannot do this without y'all sharing, without y'all liking, without y'all commenting, girl. We jumped up it's 2.5 numbers, girl. Okay, damn near overnight. Okay, so the algorithm is algorithming, child. Okay, what's out? Make sure that you have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be king. And girl, sometimes I do impromptu live streams. Sometimes, you know, I plan in advance and it's premeditated, honey. But you know, the old saying is, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. Okay, so keep that notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share this stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Instagram stories, Snapchat, the dark side of Twitter and Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't give a damn where you lay the link. Let's let them whores know that we're out live and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through. Okay.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me speak to the conscious crew in the building on this God-given Saturday. And once again, thumbs up the video. Moderators, please remind folk throughout this live stream to thumbs up, please. That is essential and very significant, honey. Thumbs up. What's going on, Ty? Hey, boo. What's going on, Shay? What's going on, Nicole? My birthday was a couple of days ago. Shout out and give a Happy belated birthday to our Nicole Slays, honey. Wishing you 10,000 more 18-year-old birthday, child. Okay, she old enough to smoke cigarettes now, y'all. Okay, so give it up for Nicole, boo. Happy birthday, love. What's going on, Donnell? Hey, sexy Nessa. What's going on, Ladybugs? Hey, Ashley. Hey, VS Royally. What's going on, R&B? Hey, I Am Strong Peaches. Hey, boo. What's going on, Kiwana? Hey, Sherry. What's going on? Hey, Ty. Hey, Auntie Yvette. What's going on, Deborah? Hey, old nasty piece of rumors and tea. What's going on, Caramel Butterfly? Hey, Ken. Hey, love. Hey, my my donor, honey. My official donor, girl. Okay, Ken be keeping a girl rich as hell, baby. Okay. What's going on, Sabra? What's going on, Charity the Gift? Hey, Miss Bynum. Hey, Magic Crystal. Hey, Tanika. What's going on, the Tea Lounge? Hey, boo. What's going on? Hey, what's going on, Lynn? What's going on, Cynthia? Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Sharon. What's going on, Zeth Hill 30? Hey, Moon Witch. What's going on, Nana? Hi. What's going on, Mia? What's going on, Tiny? What's going on, Miss Lady? Hey, Dancing with Nature. Hi, everybody. What's going on, Queen B More? Hey, getting fine now, period. What's going on, Courtney? Hey, Aya. What's going on, Miss AP? Hey, Perp. What's going on with Shonda? Hey, y'all. Look, for many years on my platform, y'all, I did not pay a lot of attention to the chat, and I was not familiar with, you know, my day ones, who was new, etc., because I never looked at the chat enough to get familiar with anybody in the chat. So when I'm greeting y'all, this helps me to remember y'all and to get familiar with y'all and to know y'all by name, etc., which is really freaking important, child. I just can't believe I went so long without just familiarizing myself with my own damn supporters. What's going on, Life with LB? Hey, baby mama. What's going on, Michelle? Hey, boo. What's going on, Tanisha? Hey, y'all. Hope you guys are having a wonderful. Hey, Tootie. Hey, Isha. Having a wonderful. Hey, Mary. Having a wonderful weekend, girl. So y'all know we have been cut. What's going on, Poetic Flacco? I'm ready for your read on Just Hilarious. You know what's so funny? I was just earlier in the day, I was just getting into everything that's going on with that and Just Hilarious's comments and T.S. Madison entering the chat. Child, I was like, you know what? We probably need to talk about this today too. So that's funny you bring that up. It's so much content going on, you guys. It's crazy right now. The block is hotter than a prostitute's pussy, child. Okay, it's a lot to get into. So we might be right back. We'll definitely be loud, live, and in color on tomorrow. Hot topics, girl. We got some Shirley Strawberry. We got some Meek Mills. We got all type of things to get into, girl. We got Carly Russell situation. Just keeps situating, child. It's just a mess. But let's get into this Jamie Foxx tea, okay? I might drop the link to give you guys an opportunity to sound the hell off as well, okay? First and foremost, let me say this. This is, at this point, predominantly a celebrity gossip commentating channel, okay? I am a part of what is considered to be the tea sector. Here, we commentate, okay, on celebrities and all their bullshit. Why? Because it's fun, it's funny, and a lot of times it acts as a catalyst for us to have real conversations that are substantive and that is relevant to the overall community, because God has anointed me to be able to do that with celebrity commentator, girl, to bring it all the way down to a realistic level, just how we did with Carly Russell situation, which is a real life situation, and then it became sensationalized, and then we was able to have a whole open panel and have a very human conversation around the bullshit of it all, as we were able to do with the Megan and Tory Lanez trial, etc., that led us into a conversation about the dynamics between Black women and Black men and domestic violence and celebrity and power, etc. Girl, you know, we get into the things over here, baby. Okay, we can't speak for the mother whores, okay? But we able to get into the things of over here, okay? I have an audience that is both has a great sense of humor, but an audience that is also deeply intellectual, and an audience that cares about real news as well. And I'm so happy that we're able to bridge both of these lanes. But don't ever forget that this is a celebrity-oriented channel. We're going to talk about all of these folk, including your faves. And I understand that sometimes that's going to piss you the hell off, and that's also not my personal problem, okay? If Beyonce happens to be your auntie, baby, all I can ask is that you just tune out, honey, okay? If it's going to be a Beyonce commentary, girl. If Meek Mills is your baby daddy, all I can do is ask that you opt out, baby, because we going to get into Miss Meek Mills, baby, okay? Nobody is off the roster. Nobody is immune to getting this work. And we do what we do best over here, which is yabba dabba goddamn do about everybody who comes up in the damn news cycle. And we allowed to think what we want, to do what we want. Y'all allowed to have y'all own opinion. I'm allowed to have my own opinion. And we allowed to agree to disagree. Or hell, just all out disagree, goddamn it. Either way, the sun gonna rise and I'm still gonna be blessed and you gonna be all right, okay? Now, y'all know I've been covering the Jamie Foxx ish since it went down, girl. And we have traveled backwards and forwards from every damn end over the past 3.5, 4 months when it comes to the Jamie Foxx thing, girl. We got into the back to action 2 drama on set, girl. You know, it was a big alleged blowout between Cameron Diaz, you know, attractive mayonnaise woman, and Jamie Foxx, and him going on a firing spree. Then you guys know there was a bunch of P. Diddy rumors, etc., that he had a hit on Jamie and other people who, you know, had some objective salacious tea on his ass, because we found out, according to Jamie Foxx, that he was one of the central cameramen during P. Diddy's height of these $1.5 million sponsored parties he would throw for the damn Illuminati, girl, and everything would go on in them parties from liquor and Hennessy to dildos on the bed, baby, to fucking little people upside down, girl, all type of damn ritualistic magical sex and shit, girl, worshiping the Baphomet and gargoyles and shit, child. So folk was saying that P. Diddy was taking the girls out one by one, just like he allegedly did with his best friend Biggie, just like he allegedly did with his ex-girlfriend, baby mama, Miss Porter, girl, and he was coming for Miss Foxx next because Miss Foxx allegedly still had them old tapes, girl, stored up in the attic in the basement of things, baby. He also had the signature cards, because not only was Jamie Foxx the cameraman for Diddy at these exclusive adrenochrome ass witchery parties, girl, but he would take guest names and cue cards, girl, so he knew exactly who was there, who was in attendance, baby. He got P. Diddy life squared off, girl, okay? So there was all of that. Then there was speculation, girl, that Jamie OD, girl, he had a relapse. You guys know that Jamie has been open about having bouts with drug addiction, etc., girl. Then folks speculated that there was a stroke, and then a whistleblower came forward and said, girl, it was Carisha-19. There's something I want to play for y'all so bad. But YouTube got me shook, bitch, because YouTube is on they censor shit, girl. And the last time they clipped my ass, girl, when I ain't even get off the ground, bitch. I was still on the runway with the commentary about Carisha-19. So maybe rather than playing the clip, I'll just explain it to y'all, girl, because I don't need no issues. And Miss YouTube, girl, you know, she doing too much, so I might talk about it, maybe. So girl, it was a lot going on, child. Well, after Jamie Foxx backwards and forwards on social media, his daughter putting up posts, taking down posts, him making posts but not being visible, it created all of this speculation. It created all this conspiracy. It created all of this and all of that, child. Okay, everything came up from out of the pot, girl. Well, he finally got allegedly released, child. There was still a lot of secrecy, girl. Then we started having Bigfoot sightings, child, okay? Bigfoot was seen on a yacht, waving the fans from afar, allegedly. Bigfoot was seen rescuing the purses of elderly women, girl. Bigfoot was seen pooching through the golf course, girl, playing pickleball and apple ball and frisbee and shit, child. Well, there's been an explosive Sasquatch footing, girl. Okay, a Sasquatch entered into FaceTime, girl. Sasquatch entered finally into the domain of Instagram, girl. Okay, and we're gonna get into this explosive Sasquatch footing, child. Okay, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about their Cloned Tyrone, and then I'm gonna give you my hypothesis, child. Okay. So let's move over to the left and get into, I ain't even got it queued up. How's it going? Let me go over to Miss Jamie's Instagram, girl, because she spoke out last night, girl. I couldn't believe it, child. I said, oh my God, see, this one I knew we was literally in fuck shitville. We were literally in fuck shitville, girl. Okay? How's it going? Bigfoot finally spoke out, girl. So let me go ahead and share this. This is courtesy of the I Am Bigfoot Instagram page, girl. And you can hear from the foot himself, child. How doing?
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's prayed, man, and sent me messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. They said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through, I went to hell and back. And my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back, and I'm able to work. So I want to thank the people that let me work. And I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got. And man, I know they talk about people crying on videos. You can do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is. And if you see me out from now on and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs out, under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack, the movies that I make. Some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then, somebody was talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out. Just kidding. Not cloned, man, but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back in love.
All right, so that was Miss Jamie, girl. That was the foot herself, child. Finally giving everybody what they've been begging for, girl, which is a formal explanation and some insight into what the hell happened. Now, of course, at this point, Jamie Foxx ain't gonna be able to do nothing without coming under the subjection of criticism and conspiracy child. So a lot of folk were not pleased, okay, by this 60-second showing and viewing, okay, of the carnival circus. At this point, girl, they felt like, girl, they didn't get no explanation, child, on the illness itself, why he can't speak about it. Folk were going in on his complexion. Now, Jamie Foxx does look like DJ Envy in this damn video, girl. He is giving Burris Cujo, girl, who he think he is. A light-skinned nigga, girl. He's giving Von Ray complexion, child. Okay? But as somebody who takes a lot of pictures, a lot of gorgeous and beautiful ones, a lot of legendary images, girl, I can tell you that you know, your complexion will appear different based upon what type of lighting you in and what type of lenses, what type of camera, what type of technology you taking a snap, you taking a selfie on, child. Okay, sometimes I look darker in images, sometimes I look super bright. It just depends on a lot of variables, child, that are outside of our control, child. But I don't think that Jamie Foxx has intentionally changed his complexion, because for one, he ain't had time to, and for two, it would be too obvious, okay? And they're trying to be inconspicuous, child. So him going down as a dark-skinned nigga and coming up looking like Tamar Braxton in the face, bitch. Okay, that would give it all away. So I'm gonna chop this up to lighting. Now, a lot of other people are saying, where are the freckles? You actually can see I can see the freckles. You can see the freckles all on his nose and everything. It's just that the lighting and all of that, it's blotching everything out, child. But all the freckles are there. Other folks said they need to see him sing. What I need to do, what I need for confirmation is for Jamie Foxx to drop his draws. That's where I'm going to be able to really, you know, provide some strong, objective, scientific feedback about the legitimacy of this Jamie Foxx that's sitting before us, baby. Okay, so I don't know how y'all feel, but I think if Jamie would drop the draws, okay, that it would allow us to have a more excellent, thorough examination to really get to the bottom of who this is sitting before us, shy. So, you know, we may have to run that request, honey, and have Miss Jamie, you know, make an appointment with CTV Medical Center, girl, okay, so we can get to the bottom of some things, child, okay? It's all in the drawers, I believe, okay? So, all of that going on. Now, he thanked his daughter, Kareen Steffens, girl, not Kareen Steffens, child. I'm naming the woman after Superhead, child. Kareen Foxx, girl, who had my blood pressure up, girl, because she didn't know whether she was coming or going, honey. She didn't know whether she wanted to talk to us, not talk to us, whether she wanted to report on her daddy or not spoke on her damn daddy. So I threw her ass away weeks ago, girl. Okay, I threw Miss Kareen Foxx away weeks ago. But Jamie honors her as the person who saved his life. Now, here's what's interesting. Because I didn't know what I thought before this video aired, okay? But the fact that Jamie Foxx did this live stream after midnight, because I had to check my computer to verify, girl. He did this live stream after the debut of They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix. It confirmed a lot of things. It didn't confirm that this was an entire hoax, but it proved that there's been some really, really calculated moves, even if the situation has been partially real. Okay, so let me pull up and share my screen, child. And yes, to people's point about AI, girl, anything is possible, child. So, you know, Jamie Foxx opened himself up to all of this speculation, girl. So, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent on the public behalf, he did this to himself, child. Okay? Okay, so Bigfoot foot in here, girl. But I had to check my screen last night, girl. And look at this live stream. I got notified at 12:53 a.m. June 22nd of 2023. I caught this live stream so early that look at how timely the comments are underneath the video. People had just commented 5 minutes ago, 59 seconds ago, 10 minutes ago. Girl, he strategically went live after the debut of They Cloned Tyrone, which debuted last night on Netflix. And I watched it. So I want y'all to keep this in mind because we're going to revisit it. We're going to revisit the timing of this live stream because we got to get into some more things so I can bring it full circle. Okay? He did this live stream after midnight. After They Cloned Tyrone's opening debut on Netflix app. Okay? Remember that. So, I said, So now that I know there's an emphasis on the significance of this movie, because now they've put in a lot of work. They done co-opt this man's alleged medical mystery with the premiere of this Netflix movie, which is directed, written, etc. by Jewel Taylor. So let me see what all the encrypted messaging is about, girl, because this is a lot. And this is intentional. And this is not coincidental that he finally speaks. And he references cloning in his live stream. And he references the fact that he thinks he has a good movie out. Okay? I heard all that language. Okay? And that was really the whole purpose of the live stream. The live stream was for the purpose of pumping the movie and going silent until the premiere of the movie was all about building up momentum and publicity behind They Cloned Tyrone. But we're going to get more into that as well. So I went and checked out They Cloned Tyrone. Let me just say this, just from a movie critic perspective as a viewer. The movie was actually fucking good. It was damn near good, baby. They put a damn Kid and Play 1992 ass lace front wig on Jamie, girl, and he carried on. He carried, girl. Okay, the movie was funny. It was very interesting. And you know what it gave me? It gave me a Jordan Peele Get Out type of vibe, except it wasn't as clever as Get Out. It wasn't as subliminal. This movie was more blatant. It was more obvious. It was more in your face. But nonetheless, it was still good. And the message of the movie definitely was something that if you are melanated and you know anything about our history in this country with the Tuskegee experiments, etc., you will feel particularly spooked, and there will be a particular curiosity that will hold your attention as it relates to the plot and the theme of this movie. And this is kind of going to be a bit of a what they call them, a spoiler, girl. This kind of going to be a spoiler, girl, because we got to bring it full circle. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about it, okay? Hold on. I think I got an old nasty piece of article here, girl. Okay? So the movie has to do with cloning, obviously. The guy to the right of the screen, you see here, he's the criminal. He's Tyrone. Jamie Foxx symbolizes the pimp. And this girl here symbolizes the hoe. She's a prostitute, okay? These are the three fundamental degenerates in each hood in America, okay? Those are the building blocks of each ghetto and project in America, girl. The hoe, the pimp, and the criminal. That's what they all represent, okay? And that's what they're referred to in the damn movie, okay? Now, the main character, Tyrone, he gets killed in the movie. He gets cloned. Then he discovers that he is indeed a clone. And then him and his friends, Jamie and Miss Lady here, they go on a adventure to expose what's going on beneath the ghettos of America, which is these elaborate laboratories where they are cloning the worst of the community. They are replicating the worst of the degenerates, okay? And keeping them in rotation, girl, okay? Keeping them spreading misinformation and disillusion in the communities, etc. And these ghettos are largely targeted by the global elite because these communities oftentimes are unregulated. There's no check and balances. The government is piss poor and practically absent in those communities. So these communities can be exploited. Okay, these communities can be exploited in things, girl. So this makes the Black populations in these communities compromisable and vulnerable, okay, and susceptible to all type of Frankenstein science and experiments by the global elite, okay? Now, Tyrone, catch this. Tyrone was raised by what we can assume to be a single mama because we never saw a father in the movie. And his mama was always represented as a voice. Like you never saw her. And every time he tried to interact with her, she was always in her room. Okay? And she would always speak through the door. And he would come to the door and say, hey, you want something from the store? He was like, Smokey and Friday, okay? Mom, you want something from the store, etc. You need something before I go, okay? She'd be like, no, baby, I'm fine, etc. Boom, 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 okay? But then after the shit hits the fan and the climax of the movie, he eventually busts the door down because he needs to see his mama. And at this point, he knows something is up because he's already aware of all the underground shit, okay? So he busts up in the room and she's a voice recording. She's not even really there, okay? The room is bare. There's a table. There's a voice recorder. And they have these programmed responses in her voice to him, okay? When he seeks out her attention. He tears up the room, snatches the voice recording out, overthrows the desk, has an entire breakdown, okay? Now, what that represented, as far as I am concerned, is the fact that not only was he brought up in a single parent household, but that his mother was emotionally absent. So Tyrone represented the quintessential Black male coming up in a low-income urban environment who doesn't have a father figure in his life and who has a emotionally absent mother, which only helps him to become the degenerate that he is because, you know, he sells drugs, he commits crimes, he's in pure survival mode, he operates on a 3D consciousness, very base level consciousness, etc., girl. So all of that is symbolically shaping the context of Tyrone's behavior. No father figure and an emotionally absent mother. Okay. Now, the global elite hijacked the minds of the Black community through, once again, I told you all the 3D fundamental building blocks of the Black community. Okay. Or of the Black culture. They do that through fried chicken, which represents food. They do that through hip hop, which represents the music, the frequencies, the music attached to our culture. And they do that through perms, essentially hair products, okay? Hair products, music, and food, okay, are also the three, those are the necessities of the Black community. Our food, our music, and our damn hair. And this goes for men and women, girl. We love our haircuts, we love our parks, our weaves, our perms. We love our salons, our barbers, girl. You know, we boom that industry, girl. We make up the biggest consumers, even though we only represent 13% of the damn American population, girl. But yet we leveraging whole economies, honey, carrying the country and the economy on our damn shoulders as 14% of the damn population. Okay, so the global elite is infiltrating these areas, and they're putting these psychoactive experimental drugs in the hair products. They're putting them in the chicken, and which, you know, that could represent the KFCs, the churches, the Popeyes, the Bojangles of the community, girl. It could even, you can even go as far as it can represent the Chinese food, girl. You know, all of the restaurants that you continuously see in the Black community that cater to Black culture, the beauty supply stores, etc., girl, okay? The global elite were putting weird ass products in our food and our hair products, and they were fucking with the frequencies of the music, okay? Determining which music creates violence and puts us on demon times and makes us low vibrational, and what frequencies inspire love and harmony and unison and community, etc., girl. Okay? All that was going on, girl. Okay? And these things were keeping the community in a perpetual state of chaos through these hypnotic pathogens in those particular products. Now, as I told you guys before, they cloned the worst of the community, the pimp, the hoe, and the criminals. The cloning for me wasn't so much about the cloning in and of itself from an artistic standpoint. I think the cloning more so represented not physical cloning, even though that's what it was represented as in the movie for, you know, conceptual purposes. But I think the cloning really was about the replication of consciousness. Okay? I think the cloning symbolized the consciousness and how the elite replicates most degenerates of the community through the chaos caused by mind control in the music and in the food and in the products tailored to the Black community. So this could create a lot of Tyrones. It could create a lot of pimps and hoes. And that they use these particular areas of the community in order to replicate the chaos over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Now, in the end, they get exposed to the plan of the elite. They infiltrate the underground labs that are underneath their ghetto. They free the clones, etc. And then it seemed like there's going to be a sequel, girl, okay? That they're going to go on a mission to go to other cities and states and to expose what's taking place and to destroy these labs that are co-opting and hijacking the Black community, girl. So the movie also has an interesting ending as well, because another Tyrone wakes up in a LA hood. Okay, he's a very different he's a different Tyrone than the Tyrones that you see throughout the movie, girl. This Tyrone is in LA. He has a different set of friends, and they're watching the news, and they see a cloned Tyrone, a naked cloned Tyrone in the news, because at this point all the clones have done been freed, girl. So his friends are like, bitch, is that you? And then the movie goes off. Now that Tyrone also was a thug. He had his little French braids, girl. He was also you know, thugging, drug dealing, etc. So what we got to see is that the government actually had expanded beyond I forgot where this hood was initially. Oh, in Glenn, wherever the hell Glenn was. Glenn, what the hell was Glenn? Glenn, I forgot what state Glenn was supposed to be in, child. Hold on, let me see if I can read the neighborhood. I don't know where Glenn was, but Glenn was somewhere, girl. So there's all of that. So interesting concept, right? So I'm just like, okay, so Jamie Foxx. Let me go back to Jamie, girl. Hold on. Let's go back to Jamie, girl. Okay, let's go back to Sasquatch, girl. Chicago, okay. Glenn, Chicago. It was in Chicago, girl. So at the end of the movie, we find out that, girl, the government done spread out way more than what we thought. Okay, this wasn't an isolated one-off incident in Chicago, but that, you know, God only knows at this point how many states and cities and towns have already been overthrown low-key by the mind control, systemic oppression and manipulation and scientific experimenting on these communities, girl. And God only knows how long it had been going on, child. So getting back to Jamie. So I'm just like, okay. So Jamie Foxx he strategically goes live after the debut of Dave Cloned Tyrone. Somebody thought this movie was very important because it was honest Jordan Peele shit. Clearly. So then that made me interested in the director. I'm like, who is the director? So the director is this young artist named Jewel Taylor. Okay? Jewel Taylor. Hold on. Jewel Taylor is, let me show y'all Jewel. Because as I was reading his backstory for the movie, I found something very interesting that made sense. Because I was like, yep, this is exactly what the T is, girl. I knew it. I knew it. Okay? This is Jewel Taylor. Okay, who helped to write studio entertainment like Creed 2 and Space Jams. Okay, and they cloned Tyrone. All right, this is Mr. Jewel. Okay, I just want to show y'all him. I'm gonna put Jamie, aka Sasquatch, back up on the screen. Hey Neo, what's going on? Caramel Butterfly. Hey boo. Hey everybody. Okay, so a little bit about Jewel. Jewel Taylor is a first-time feature film director, but he's not new to Hollywood. With Tony Rettenmaier, his writing partner and former classmate in the University of Southern California Graduate Film School, Taylor helped write the sequels, Creed 2 and Space Jams: A New Legacy, establishing his credentials as an engineer of mainstream popcorn entertainment. His first effort behind the camera, the comedy sci-fi conspiracy thriller They Cloned Tyrone, has a smaller profile, but is in some ways even more ambitious, starring John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, and Tayona Parris. She did so good. The prostitute, the black woman who acted as the prostitute, she had me cracking up. She's off the chain in this movie. I love it. And streaming on Netflix, the original story written by Taylor and Rettenmaier wedges heady questions about structural racism, personal autonomy, and the search for meaning in a pulpy package. In the film, diligent small-time drug dealer named Fotain Boyega, who may or may not be a clone, teams up with his least favorite client, Sleek Charles, Jamie Foxx, and Yo-Yo, who's Paris, to unravel a sinister plot that unpins everything he believes about himself and the world. Taylor 36, who, okay, I'm gonna hold that part, okay? Now, something I forgot to tell you about the movie. Now, the main character, Tyrone, he's a clone. The actual Tyrone is like age at this point. He's also working adjacent to the global elite. Okay. His brother, Tyrone's brother, was unalived ages ago, And this created like a trauma experience in Tyrone, etc. And it pretty much drove him to want to bring about world peace and this kind of like utopia, right? So he started working alongside the global elite who was already experimenting on the Black community to understand human nature and consciousness, etc. And his plan was to whitewash the Black community, okay? He thought that if he could change our genetic structure and make our hair more fine, make our complexion whiter, paler, etc., that this would bring down and eradicate racism. It would eradicate racial injustice, etc. Okay. The actual Tyrone was like a scientist, and he was of the attitude that basically, if you can't beat them, join them. Okay. If you can't beat the white man, if you can't beat the pale man, then let's join them. Okay. Let's assimilate to them. Okay. Let's just be white then. Okay. And this would make the pale community kinder. It'll make us more palatable. It would ease the racial tension, etc. It would eradicate that line of the I'm telling the movie. I said it was a spoiler. This is a spoiler, okay? Hint, spoiler. I'm telling the fucking movie. So if you don't want the movie told, get the hell out of the stream. Move the hell around. Find something else to do. Go to a picnic. Have a barbecue. I issued the disclaimer early on in the commentary. If you don't want the movie spoiled, haul ass. Okay? Goodbye. Bye. Get up out of here. Run it up. Run around. Because I'm telling all the damn church's business up in this commentary tonight. Okay? Now, that was the real Tyrone's incentive, okay? The death of his brother drove him to want to cure racial injustice, blah, 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 blah. He wanted us all to be white, girl, okay? Boom. So, there's that. So, I'm just like, okay, so this movie is about the global elite. No problem, Foxx. No, is about the global elite, girl. They trying to figure the shit out. They experimenting on the Black community. This is not anything new, right? To Black folk who are aware of their history, right? Because everybody knows about how white supremacists have been experimenting on us medically, experimenting on the bodies of Black women, our genetics, our cells, etc. Everybody knows about the infamous Tuskegee experiments, girl, etc. And then I found out that Jewel Taylor, the writer and director of this movie, girl, is from where else in the country, y'all? Guess where Jewel Taylor is from? Guess. Tuskegee, Alabama. He literally born and raised in Tuskegee, Alabama. And of course, the history of Tuskegee, Alabama is something that has more than likely influenced him, shaped his worldview. African-American studies have more than likely informed him, shaped his worldview, etc. And the dynamics between melanated folk and non-melanated folk in this country, girl, okay? So I'm like, boom, this now makes it personal for Jewel. This makes it personal. Not only is he a Black American, he himself is largely impacted by white supremacy, but everybody that he loves who's melanated, his mom, his children, his friends, his community, the collective of melanated folk are also impacted by pale supremacy. So this would make this project personal, because what it attempts to do is keep alive the reality of pale America, despite this attempt to brainwash Black folk into this belief that that pale folk are on our side, that pale folk are virtuous unto Black America. It raises kind of that defensiveness and that awareness all over again of the understanding that we don't have any friends outside of ourselves, that we are all we have. And that is going to be us who are going to have to uproot this thing. Because if Pale America was so loving and so colorblind and so color-stricken and so evangelical and Christian, then why haven't they single-handedly utilized all of their forces, all of their wit, all of their resources to overthrow this social construct known as racism? This is something that shouldn't even be a reality for Black Americans if there are all these heroic pale folk who care so much about the plight of Black Americans and who stand in the rallies, girl. They can literally destroy the system from the inside out, and yet it's still Black folk having to lose their lives, rally in the street, boycott, and deal with the imminent, insidious reality of pale supremacy, okay? And this movie establishes that we are not going to have a pale savior, that the savior of the Black community is going to be melanated. It's going to be every Black woman and man in the mirror who are going to have to rectify this issue and come together to undo the scathing effects of pale supremacy and its generational impact on the Black community. All right, so I was like, oh God, he's from Tuskegee, Alabama. So let's revisit Tuskegee because I'm gonna bring it all home for y'all. Okay, real quick history lesson. 40 years of human experimentation in America, the Tuskegee study, okay? The goal was to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis in Black populations, but the subjects were completely unaware and were instead told they were receiving treatment for bad blood when in fact they received no treatment at all. Starting in 1932, 600 African-American men from Macon County, Alabama were enlisted to partake in a scientific experiment on syphilis called the Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis in the Negro Male. Was conducted by the United States Public Health Service and involved blood tests, x-rays, spinal taps, and autopsies of the subjects. The goal was to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis in Black populations, but the subjects were unaware of this and were simply told that they were receiving treatment for bad blood. Actually, they received no treatment at all, even after penicillin was discovered as a safe and reliable cure for syphilis. The majority of men did not receive it. To really understand the heinous nature of the Tuskegee experiment requires some societal context, a lot of history, and a realization of just how many times government agencies were given a chance to stop this human experimentation, but did not. In 1865, the ratification of the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution formally ended the enslavement of Black Americans. But by the early 20th century, the cultural and medical landscape of the U.S. was still built upon and inundated with racist concepts. Social Darwinism was rising, predicated on the survival of the fittest, and the scientific racism was common. Many pale people already thought themselves superior to Blacks, and science and medicine was all too happy to reinforce this hierarchy. Before the ending of slavery, scientific racism was used to justify the African slave trade. Scientists argued that African men were uniquely fit for enslavement due to their physical strength and simple minds. They argued that slaves possessed primitive nervous systems, so did not experience pain as pale people did. Enslaved African Americans in the South were claimed to suffer from mental illness at rates lower than their free Northern counterparts, thereby proving that enslavement was good for them. And slaves who ran away were said to be suffering from their own mental illness known as drapetomania. During and after the American Civil War, African Americans were argued to be a different species from pale Americans, and mixed-race children were presumed prone to many medical issues. Doctors of the time testified that the emancipation of slaves had caused the mental and moral and physical deterioration of the black. Hold on, I need to switch the water, y'all. Throat getting thirsty, girl. Argued to be different species from pale Americans, and mixed-race children were presumed prone to medical issues. Doctors of the time testified that the emancipation of slaves had caused the mental and moral. I already read that. And the emancipation of slaves had caused the mental, moral, and physical deterioration of the black population, observing that virtually free of disease as slaves, they were now overwhelmed by it. Many believe that the African Americans were doomed to extinction, and experiments were made about their physiology being unsuited for the colder climates of America. Thus, they should be returned to Africa. Oh, wow. Scientific and medical authorities of the 19th and early 20th centuries held extremely harmful pseudoscientific ideals, specifically about the sex drives and genitals of African Americans. It was widely believed that while the brains of African Americans were under-evolved, their genitals were overdeveloped. Black men were seen to have an intrinsic perversion for pale women, and all African Americans were seen as inherently immoral with insatiable sexual appetites. Wow. So they made us crazy, psychopathic sexual deviants who had the learning capacity of a damn second grader. This all matters because it was with these understandings of race, sexuality, and health that researchers undertook the Tuskegee study. They believe, largely due to their fundamentally flawed scientific understandings of race, that Black people were extremely prone to sexually transmitted infections like syphilis. Low birth rates and high miscarriage rates were universally blamed on STIs. They also believe that all Black people, regardless of their education, background, economic, or personal situations, could not be convinced to get treatment for syphilis. Thus, the USPHS could justify the Tuskegee study, calling it a study in nature rather than an experiment meant to simply observe the natural progression of syphilis within a community that wouldn't seek treatment. The USPHS set their study in Macon County due to estimates that 35% of its population was infected with syphilis. In 1932, the initial patients between ages 25 and 60 were recruited under the guise of receiving free medical care for bad blood, a colloquial term encompassing anemia, syphilis, fatigue, and other conditions. Told that the treatment would last only 6 months, they received physical examinations, x-rays, spinal taps, and when they died, autopsies. Researchers face a lack of participants due to fears that the physical examinations were actually for the purpose of recruiting them to the military. These fears, doctors began examining women and children as well. Men diagnosed with syphilis who were of the appropriate age were recruited for the study, while others received proper treatments for their syphilis at the time. These were commonly mercury or arsenic-containing medicines. In 1933, researchers decided to continue the study long-term. They recruited 200-plus controlled patients who did not have syphilis, simply switching them to the syphilis-positive group if at any time they developed it. They also began giving all patients ineffective medicines, ointments, or capsules with too small of doses of fucking mercury, to further their belief that they were being treated. As time progressed, however, patients began to stop attending their appointments to greater incentive them to remain a part of the study. The USPHS hired a nurse named Eunice Rivers to drive them to and from their appointments, provide them with hot meals, and deliver their medicine services, especially valuable to subjects during the Great Depression. In an effort to ensure the autopsies of their test subjects, the researchers also began covering patients' funeral expenses, baby. So the U.S. government was going all the fuck out, bitch. Going all out, man. All out to keep this community and these test subjects, girl, disillusioned, girl. Feeding them, girl, giving them hot mac and cheese, giving them chicken, girl, giving them watermelon chai. okay, providing them transportations and Ubers and lifts and shit and cab services, girl, okay? I mean, even paying for damn funerals, girl, okay? That's how committed the U.S. government was to their experimentations on the Macon community. Multiple times throughout the experiment, researchers actively worked to ensure that their subjects did not receive treatment for syphilis. In 1934, they provided doctors in Macon County with lists of their subjects and asked them not to treat them. In 1940, they did the same with the Alabama Health Department. In 1941, many of the men were drafted and had their syphilis uncovered by the entrance medical exam. So the researchers had the men removed from the army rather than let their syphilis be treated. It was in these moments that the Tuskegee study's true nature became clear. Rather than simply observing and documenting the natural progression of syphilis in the community, as had been planned, the researchers intervened, first by telling the participants that they were being treated, which was a lie, and then again by preventing their patients from seeking treatment that could actually save their lives. Thus, the original basis for the study, that the people of Macon County would likely not seek treatment and thus could be observed as their syphilis progressed, became a self-fulfilling prophecy. So they literally authored the confusion and then presented themselves as the solution, but the solution wasn't even a real solution, which also led to the perpetual deaths and spreading of syphilis in the fucking community of melanated folk. This is diabolical, systemic, calculated, nefarious agenda. I mean, this is diabolical. This is diabolical geniusness. Pale folk possess the capacity to be extremely diabolical and demon infused in their intellect, and that's been weaponized totally against minority folk, particularly Black Americans, in the worst way. Okay, now it goes on and on and on and on and on. I'm not going to get into all of that because I don't want to make this live stream too long. I want to bring this all back to Jamie. Okay, now keep in mind what I just said. Jewel Taylor, the director of They Cloned Tyrone, which co-starred Jamie Foxx, who played a pimp in the movie, okay, is 36 years old, and he literally is born and raised in Tuskegee, Alabama, okay? Obviously, this is not just a movie for him. This is not just a comedy, etc. All that was just to make the movie palatable, to give it a sense of humor, for it to be playful and lighthearted, while it has a deeper undertone and a more serious message, particularly to the Black community. So as far as I'm concerned, Jewel Taylor found a way to speak to the Black community about the current condition of the Black community as it relates to its counterparts, the pale supremacy, in a parable way. Jewel spoke in parables through the creation of this movie. He's speaking in parables, just how Jesus had to speak in parables, okay, to keep the religious and to keep the Antichrist consciousness institutions of his day from understanding exactly what he was saying. So Jewel put this in a fictional movie, put it in a comedy form, hoping that those who are wide awake would catch the message. And the message is pretty fucking obvious. So it's also very hard to miss the damn messaging, okay? The movie is not very clever. Like I said, it's very kind of in your face. It you know, you can't miss it, okay? But he wants you to pay attention, clearly. And this would be personal for him, since he's from Tuskegee. He was probably raised hearing these stories and hearing about pale supremacy and its Frankenstein science, etc. And the experimentations of the Black community was probably always warned against. Pale America and taught to keep his guard up when it comes to Pale America, never accept them at face value, always know they have a ulterior motive, always know that they do not have the best interest of the Black community at hand, and be reminded of the history of Pale America being completely deceptive and evil in their menacing of the community. Okay, now there's one more thing I want us to get into, and then I'm gonna bring it all home and give you my little hypothesis, girl. Oh, and don't forget how these experiments continue on today. Okay, they still haven't eradicated the water issue in Flint, Michigan. Okay, you guys know in 2014 the city of Flint, Michigan had changed their water supply source from the Detroit supplied Lake Huron water to the Flint River. Okay, this switch caused water distribution pipes to corrode and leach lead and other contaminants into Flint's drinking water. Okay, and the problem was basically abandoned, leaving the inhabitants of Flint to be subjected to that chemical warfare. Okay, now back to Miss Jamie. Now you guys know, since Jamie went down for the cause, okay, I reported on everything, any conspiracy that came out over the past few months, I reported on, including the one involving Prez from the Fugees. Okay, now I was over watching Sherelle's World before I went live. You guys know I love Sherelle. I'm a fan of Sherelle. Shout out to Sherelle. Subscribe to Sherelle's World over on this YouTube, girl. Okay, and she was speaking about the Prez situation. I can't believe I thought she been knew about the Prez situation, because that situation been, you know, like, it's not a recent situation, so she must have just got whim of it. But when she reported on it, it reminded me of it. And you guys know we covered the Prez Fugees. He was in cahoots with this guy named Jolo, okay, who was operating as a spy for a foreign country, and he was funneling money into the Obama and Trump campaign, illegal money to fund their campaigns, etc. And this Jolo figure who was embezzling and working as a secret spy, etc. Him and Prez linked up, and Prez was receiving money and payouts, and he was acting as a middleman for Jolo, etc. girl. And you guys know there's a big trial going on, and Prez is facing time in prison, girl. Okay, he got an upcoming trial as a result of all of this conspiracy and being a spy for another country, etc. Well, you guys know there were also some other people that were going to be brought in as witnesses to the trial. One of those really famous A-listers was Leonardo DiCaprio, who also who was acquaintances with this Jolo figure. Okay, Jolo had dedicated a not dedicated, but he gave a real hold on. He gave a, let me see, let me remind y'all. Okay, so here it is. Let me just read it straight out for y'all. This is courtesy of WrestlingEdge.com. Okay, hold on. Why's this? Hold on. Let me read this, girl, because this all, I think we got the whole situation mapped the hell out. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let me read this. Shortly before Jamie Foxx's medical troubles a few months ago, he was caught up in a legal situation. It has come to light that jury selection has begun in the trial of former Fugees musician Prez. It is a case of multi-billion-dollar corruption scheme and a fugitive Malaysian tycoon, sometimes referred to as Asia's Great Gatsby. Prosecutors alleged that Perez took more than $100 million from Malaysian businessman Joe Low to convince former U.S. President Donald Trump to abandon an investigation and allow the extradition of a prominent descendant to China. Additionally, Perez stands accused of making illegal contributions to Barack Obama's 2012 U.S. presidential campaign using a network of third parties paid with foreign money. He now faces charges including conspiracy, witness tampering, and a failure to register as a foreign agent. If convicted, he faces more than 20 years in prison. Perez has denied any willful wrongdoing in the case. The trial was expected to last most of April and was rumored to see Hollywood A-listers, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Trump allies Rudy Giuliani, and Steve Bannon, and American casino mogul Steve Wynn testify as witnesses. Actor Leonardo DiCaprio is named amongst the list of witnesses. He famously portrayed a real-life financial crook in the 2013 film Wolf of Wall Street, which was partially funded by a firm tied to Low. Wow, the synchronicity here, right? Bloomberg has reported that Low was especially generous with DiCaprio and donated a $3.2 million Picasso to his charity, as well as a $9.2 million piece from Jean Basquiat. DiCaprio, who has not been accused of any wrongdoing, reportedly later turned those items and others received from Mr. Low over to authorities. Notably, in 2019, Mr. DiCaprio reportedly testified before a grand jury in Washington, D.C. as part of the Justice Department's investigation into the $1 million B case. Other potential witnesses named include actors Jamie Foxx and Mark Wahlberg, director Martin Scorsese, and civil rights activist Jesse Jackson. Okay, girl? So, now that we have the whole picture, we got Jamie finally speaks and strategically speaks after midnight. This is what I want to say. I don't give a fuck to pronounce the name of mayonnaise folk correctly. Fuck them hoes. This, I believe, is what took place. Now, keep in mind, y'all, Jamie Foxx, right, allegedly was on the set of Back to Action 2 acting a plumb motherfucking fool. He was firing assistants, directors, etc. He was doing the most, girl. Going ape shit, child, okay? Him and Cameron Diaz had a big falling out, boom, bow, boom, pow. She been dealing with white woman guilt for months, girl, okay? And Jamie Foxx, allegedly, him and his camp and his family been giving her they asses to totally fucking kiss, okay? Rim job it up. So, I believe that Jamie, more than likely, this is my hypothesis, honey. Let me take down this banner. I believe that Bigfoot got stressed out when he got word that he was going to be subpoenaed for the trial. At this point, Jamie Foxx is a high-profile A-list actor. He's been able to achieve the same thing that Will Smith has been able to achieve. They both started off as comedians and then were able to evolve into serious actors. Okay? He knows and knew that publicity from this trial would stain what has been so far a clean bill of social health on his reputation. Okay? He knows how political Hollywood is. He knows that we live in this so-called woke climate. And being adjacent to a crime of this level, being considered a U.S. spy, especially when America is in political turmoil right now. There's all this shit going on with all these politicians being exposed, Trump being exposed for his SEX crimes, girl, for leaking a classified documents, girl, impeachment. Nobody knows who to trust. Nobody knows who to vote for. The public doesn't even really fuck with or trust their politicians even more. America is experiencing a political crisis right now. Essentially, girl, we are slowly becoming a third world country in terms of the tension, bitch. Okay, we already done had an insurrection at the top of last year or this year, girl. I don't know. Was it last year, girl? I can't even tell the difference between this year and last year, girl. Whenever the insurrection was, girl, it's been a hot motherfucking mess. Okay, so Jamie, I think Jamie got shook. He got nervous. I believe he probably started really ruminating over the potential loss of his career. What type of impact this trial and him being a witness and him somehow knowing this J-Lo figure, which I haven't found any information yet as it relates to exactly what Jamie's proximity was to J-Lo, but it could have been equivalent to Leonardo DiCaprio. Maybe there's been an exchange of money. Maybe J-Lo has funded some things for Jamie. Maybe he's contributed, some furniture, girl, some tea sets and shit, girl, some expensive ass Renaissance easy bake ovens to Jamie Foxx, girl, who living in this damn $10 million mansion that's undergoing renovations, girl. Who knows, what the tea is, but there's a reason why he would have been relevant to this trial and why they wanted to subpoena him and bring him in to testify to this J-Lo figure, etc., girl. So I think Jamie Foxx ass became unhinged. The stress of the trial and him not really knowing what to expect and him not knowing if this could open him up to some criminal charges, if this could hinder him and blackball him and blacklist him from the industry, he more than likely had a stroke or some type of an aneurysm, a mini heart attack, a mini stroke, etc., as a result of the stress. The fact that he was acting a plumb fool on the set of Back to Action. Now, in lieu of everything, now that we got a lot more information, I think all of that was Jamie Foxx was acting out. He was acting out. He was stressed the fuck out, acting out. This trial coming. He's scared. He shook. He can't focus like he wants to. He on edge. Shit giving him PTSD. He more than likely stroked the fuck out or had a mini stroke, had a mini heart attack. Okay, boom. Went down for the count right in the middle of a project. He gets sick. Okay. Team rushes in. They don't want to say nothing because, once again, he's an A-list actor at this point. They don't want to specify what he's sick from. They don't want to specify what happened to him because they don't need it hindering any future work. Because if he comes out here and says, hey, I suffered a stroke, I got some brain issues, I got some nervous system issues, I got some cognitive issues. If he specifies it, that's something that directors can take into consideration if they were considering hiring him for a project, because they're like, how do we know that, your stroke issues, your cognitive issues, whatever the issues are, won't show up 6 months into filming and then we got to figure shit out. Now he will be your liability. It's already bad enough he got a medical emergency. If he specified it, then he's concerned that it would shortchange him in terms of his potential gigs in the future. So the team is like, let's not say shit. Let's not speak to the people. Let's just give them a general, he went down, he's okay, he's well, and let's keep the specifics out of plain sight. Boom. So then he gets out. Okay? He gets out. He's in rehab. He's back home. He's doing renovations. I believe Jewel Taylor then approaches Jamie and says, look, me and the label are willing to cut you a check. Because at this point now, all the conspiracies done went up, including the cloning ones. Because this is when publicity started picking up for they cloned Tyrone. Joel Taylor and the label approaches him and they say, hey, interestingly enough, Jamie, the public, out of concern for you, are speculating that you done been cloned. We got a movie that's coming out in a few weeks. We'll cut you an extra check to not say anything. Let these conspiracy theories play out. Let them run their course until the debut of the movie. Because Joel Taylor, for one, he's fairly new to the block as a director. He's had some work on 2 major movies prior, Creed 2, Space Jam, etc. But he's still fairly new. The debut of They Cloned Tyrone is a big deal for him. Debuting on Netflix is a big deal for him. So he needs all the shine he can. He's talented. He's in the industry. On top of that, he has a message. He's the up-and-coming Jordan Peele. But on top of that, this movie and this messaging is particularly meaningful and has sympathetic value to Joel because he's from Tuskegee, Alabama, which more than likely inspired the production of this movie, especially at a time like this where it's so obvious that pale supremacy is out loud and proud and melanated folk are in danger. I need y'all to focus because y'all be sitting there laughing and gagging with other people in the chat and then be wanting to then be misinformed about my commentary and then be saying all type and then be getting shit all out of order and out of whack. Focus. So he and the label approaches Jamie and say, we'll cut you an extra $1 million, $500,000, etc. to prolong addressing the fans. Don't give no particulars. Let all this momentum build up because people eager to hear from you, to see you. This is going to raise the box office numbers. This is going to bring major attention to this movie. And this is a movie that has a very special message in it that needs to go out to Black America for sure. So this is where capitalism enters into the chat. Capitalism hijacks a genuine medical issue that takes place in Jamie's life and collaborates together. Jamie Foxx probably also knows how Joel Taylor feels about this movie. He's on the set with this director filming this movie. He had to read the script. He had to audition. He had to all of that, and probably also is in agreement with the messaging of this movie. So he says, well, ain't no need shit for me to rush. I might as well just wait. The movie a debut in a few weeks. It ain't like it's debuting in 6 months and I got to shut up. I only got to shut up for a few more weeks. This movie is important. This movie has a particular message that is necessary for the Black community. It's directed for the Black community. Its demographic is going to be the Black community. Why not? He takes his check. He keeps his mouth closed. Bigfoot sightings resurrect everywhere. Despite the pressure from his fans, he doesn't give in because he has an extra few $1 million to keep his fucking mouth closed as an insurance, okay? So then the team starts working to give him a soft opening, to give him a soft launch back into society, okay? Because now you got 2 agendas. You got the trial that impacted Jamie's health. He probably stroked out or had a mini stroke or had a mini heart attack as a result of anxiety from the trial, etc. And then he's probably overworked because he just filmed They Cloned Tyrone. Now he's filming Back to Action. So between being overworked and then being overstressed because of trial and potential trial and all of this shit, his health breaks down. Capitalism rushes in and says, there's a cute opportunity here. I think we can work together. You can get what you want, I can get what I want, we can get what I want, and boom, you have what now has manifested. You have Jamie Foxx recuperating as the launch for They've Cloned Tyrone, which is an interesting movie with a unique message created for a time like this. And then he coincidentally does not go fucking live until after the debut of this movie. After the Friday night debut. Because guess what? Once again, hold on. Where's my preview window at, bitch? I mean, he goes live right after midnight, you guys. Right fucking after midnight. You see that? I literally screenshotted the date on my computer. I was shook. I said, I know damn well they're not gonna play in our face like this. This is so obvious. You can't, I don't give a fuck what if you're a conspiracy theorist, not a conspiracy theorist. This exposed the fact that this was a calculated motherfucking move. This man could have went live any other point in time, and he ironically decides to finally address his fans when his contract is up. Because the contract was, we give you these few millions to be quiet for a little bit longer. We can benefit from the publicity. This could be good for this up-and-coming director who's going to probably be doing a lot of good work in the community. He's going to be on his Jordan Peele shit. Hell, the fans already said everything they could say, so it ain't no need to rush to appease their ass. Take these few millions. Be quiet. Let the momentum build. That way we can capitalize. This message now has a larger potential to get out into the community who's going to be interested in seeing Jamie. Considering all these circumstances, they're going to be interested, girl, in seeing him on camera, and then there's this cloning rumors already, child. It couldn't have been a more perfectly natural, synchronistic manifestation. And this is what capitalism partly does. It's opportunistic. And this is why a lot of people believe that a lot of the public, because of synchronicity and because of the nature of capitalism being opportunistic, a lot of the public be observing things and believing that everything is staged, because it's obvious that things are calculated. But that don't always be the case. There be a lot of genuine phenomenon that gets hijacked by capitalism. So you have real news collaborating with fake news. You be having real life situations littered with propaganda, etc. Because that's how capitalism keeps the cycle cycling. Capitalism will always be opportunistic. Always. Hey, deep thinker. Okay? So I think that's what's happened. I think the man's medical issue was genuine. It was probably due to, once again, overworked and stressed out due to the trial. Probably had a stroke, a mini heart attack, etc. This movie has an interesting message. It's telling some tea. It's a message being spoken by way of a parable, aka through comedy and through fiction, etc. But it's talking about real life for shizzle. And I think the universe really helped to bring this collaboration together, because that conversation in They Cloned Tyrone is a real life conversation that we need to be having. It's a conversation that needs to stay alive about who our open enemies are, about the way that we're being systematically oppressed, the way that we're being intentionally hurt and harmed. We already know that most of the music labels are owned by pale Jewish folk. Hence, the hijacking and co-opting of the music in They Cloned Tyrone. We already know that Freemasons run most of Hollywood, and they definitely run the music industry, which is why you see certain occultic symbolisms in music videos or music albums, etc. The checkerboard floors, the all-seeing eye, the Hova symbol, the triangle, etc. You see all of the Masonic hand gestures, etc. All of that subliminal mind controlling, that subliminal mind programming. There literally are certain chords on the piano and in music that are literally considered the demonic chord. Frequencies alter your brain waves, which then alter the way in which you think, which influence the things you desire and do not desire, etc. All of this subliminal messaging through the colors, sequences, flashes of light, certain keywords that trigger and appeal to the subconscious and the unconscious. All of this. And They Cloned Tyrone is hinting to all of these areas, put in a fictional comedy form that are real life. Study up on backmasking, which is hidden messages in music records that you can hear clearly played backwards. And the studies on backmasking, the reality of subliminal messaging and its impact on the subconscious self. This movie is talking about all these areas. Once again, the pathogens in food, the food deserts in the Black community, the Family Dollars, the Dollar Trees, the Super Tens, all of that spiritual and chemical warfare. And once again, in real life, they're not cloning these people. What they're doing is replicating consciousness. They're cloning consciousness. Just like the scriptures say, let thy mind that be in Christ also be in you. Talk about a replicating of Christ. Not physically, but in consciousness. Let these folks personify Christ in his ways, in his nature, in his mindset. Let them be in his likeness. Well, they're trying to replicate the enemy, replicate low vibrationalness. They're studying these things so that they can refine this mind control and this chemical warfare so that your ass can be equivalent to the Walking Dead. Assure yourself, why y'all think all those concepts have come up over the past 10 years? There's been a sensationalism in the genres of vampire-themed movies and shows, werewolf-themed movies and shows, AI-themed concepts in movies and shows, zombie-themed concepts in movies and shows. These are all signs of the time. The global elite are literally telling you through fiction what their vision is for society, which is a non-sentient, controllable society. What do vampires represent? The dead. The violent, the base, operating from a primal animalistic instincts. The base primal instincts, detachment, apathy, not empathy, pretty much a reptilian consciousness. What do zombies represent? Total disillusionment, the inability to even have self-awareness. Zombies lack self-awareness. They lack social awareness. They can be directed. They can be weaponized. And they are in a perpetual state of thirst and hunger, just like vampires. When you look at our relationship to capitalism in this country, that's what capitalism has reduced us to. Look at what our priorities are as a globe, as a community, as a country. Houses, cars, money, and get into the bag. And aesthetics. All materiality. Nothing that has to do with the meaning of life, the substance of life. Nothing that gives you any real connection to yourself. Your caches on your phones, on your tablets, on our laptops, they cater to this materialism. You're always being advertised to. You're treated like a rat with a number. You're treated like a product. You are nothing more than an item as it relates to capitalism. Look at the data around depression, Alzheimer's, autism, self-deletion. All these numbers have tripled. Why? Because they are becoming successful at turning us into a shell of ourselves by getting us to depend on things that are artificial. What did Christ say? Man shall not live off bread alone. What does bread symbolize? What is the bread Christ is talking about? The material plane. Man cannot sustain and have a fulfilling life dependent upon the material world, dependent upon sex, dependent upon power, dependent upon accumulating in life. That is not the purpose of life. And the only people seeking those things are people who are detached and have a void and do not know any better. But to fill that hole with accumulating attention, accumulating social equity, accumulating money, accumulating. The scriptures say, what does it profit a man to gain the world and to lose his soul? And that's why you hear so many celebrities. Look at what Britney Spears did at the height of her career. She descended. Michael Jackson, the height, descended. Mariah Carey, descended. Look at all these celebrities who've had mental breakdowns. And people at the base of the pyramid are looking like, what the fuck is the problem? What the fuck is the problem? Y'all got money? Y'all got da. All these people keep telling us there's nothing at the top but emptiness. From a face value, first glance, it's glittery, it's all gold, but looks are deceiving. After you accumulate all this shit, people's mental collapse, because it's not until then that they fully realize that money, fame, attention, and access is not sustainable to the soul. And the soul is what's longing to be connected to life. The soul is what's longing to be in life, to experience life. I have come so that you may have life more abundantly. What is that life that Christ is talking about? The vitality of life. The total fulfillment of true happiness in life. The experience of real love in life. A joy, a peace that transcends all understanding, that can only be experienced and sustained from the inside out, not the outside in. But this capitalistic system has us all operating from the outside in. If only I can get enough likes, enough shares, if I can look pretty, if I can be more attractive, if I can have the money, if I can have the women, if I can have the men, if I can have this and I can have that, and then I will finally feel something real. But how you gonna get blood from plastic? You can't. So take heed to what's being sensationalized in the system. The powers that be, both in the material plane and the principalities of this world that exist in the invisible realms, that are puppeteering the global elite in the physical plane. They're telling us what their vision is through these movies. Look at the Avengers movie and the concept around Thanos and the Infinity Stones and depopulation, which has been a very old agenda in the government. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all these folk believe in depopulation and shrinking the population. And they're doing that through bringing you to a degenerate state of consciousness and through chemical warfare, aka the chemtrails, the GMO food. And then I have this very interesting clip. And I don't even want to play it because, like I said, I don't even want to hear from YouTube's mouth. But my God, I do want to play it, but I don't want to play it because it's so important. But there's a recall on the, hold on, let me pull up. I would love to play this. This is why I got to finish my website so I can be unregulated. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Okay, so WPEC 12 News reported that Florida has banned. They've put a ban. Hold on.
The vaccine turns out it's back in the news.
Hold on. WPEC 12 News reported that Florida has put a ban on the mRNA. I got to use code word. Stabs, girl. That they've put, Florida is putting a ban on the mRNA stabs because they have credible evidence that the stab was a biological and technological weapon that literally altered the DNA structure of those who took it. And it also unalived folk. That's all the fuck I'm gonna say. That's all the fuck I'm gonna say. That's all the fuck I'm gonna say. I wish I could play y'all the news clip, but I can't even fuck around on YouTube like that because they already done penalized a bitch two other times and clipped me. Y'all think this shit is not a joke. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. And there is total censorship on even being able to have those conversations. which is why I can't even have the conversation. Not here, I can't. Maybe when I create a Discord and drop a Zoom link, then we can really, really, really get into some shit, baby. And I can really put y'all up on motherfucking game. But here I can't, honey. You can't talk like this here. Yeah. So this movie, this is why I believe Jewel Taylor wanted this movie out. And he wanted as much attention brought to this movie. And Jamie Foxx's health crisis created an opportunity for there to be a lot of publicity and a lot of eyes on this movie, because folk were going to be excited to see Jamie. They will want to have something tangible as it relates to Jamie, who is being silent. This movie is talking about that awakening, pushing an awakening. And there's a lot of black folk who's scared to go there, girl. They want everything to be on the surface, girl. They want everything to be simple, everything to be easy. They want to believe that they live in a safe system and that their governments are telling them the truth. And they just want to, hey, that's your business, bitch. Because to be honest, the truth ain't for the faint of heart. It ain't. The truth is uncomfortable, and sometimes it is heartbreaking, and sometimes it is such a paradigm. It creates such a paradigm death that some people have been driven insane into psychosis as a result of the actual truth. So I understand why people push against seeing beyond the veil. I understand why people hold on to the bubblegum reality. I understand why people inadvertently are really asking the system to lie to them so that they can sustain the pseudo sense of security. I get it. Because the truth ain't for no weak ass hoe. The truth ain't for no weak ass nigga. The truth is for the strongest. The truth is ground shaking and earthquaking in a lot of instances. But what you don't know is spiritually, emotionally, and physically unaliving you. Ignorance is only temporary bliss. It is better to know and to be able to live than it is to die an ignorant ass fool and to die prematurely, which is what the ignorant are doing. Dying prematurely. They're existing on the surface in a happy way. But they're gone sooner, spiritually and physically, than those who are living in the truth. We living in some diabolical, scary ass times, and it's only going to get worse. Technology is going to build upon itself. Technology is going to create and deepen the spiritual division. Technology and AI and social media and the information age is leading to a collective spiritual divorce. And nobody knows it because everybody is addicted to the thing that they won't call a drug. They don't even know that what they're smoking is a drug. Everybody's just participating and swallowed up and assimilating and adapting without any critical thought at all. Jewel Taylor wanted this movie to be out because he knows how easy it is for people who are already at the bottom to fall even more asleep. And y'all gonna see a lot of these type of movies coming out. Y'all gonna see a lot of these themes, these vampire things, these Avenger things, these multiverse things, these alien theme shows and movies. You're gonna see all that shit. And then you're gonna see some real life instances of this shit manifesting, just like the UFO crash that happened in Vegas. Just like all of the military pilots who whistleblowing on UFOs and secret government-funded projects concerning extraterrestrial life, concerning interdimensional beings, and how far ahead our government, shadow government, is on these issues. Y'all gonna be seeing a lot of bizarre shit. And the scriptures prophesied it. There's gonna be signs of the time, baby. They're gonna be in the skies, they're gonna be in the air. It's gonna be right next to you. So interesting feat. Jamie Foxx, aka Sasquatch. We have another exclusive Bigfoot sighting. This is my hypothesis now that we have a somewhat of a complete picture. I think his medical crisis was real. I think it was due to stress. And I think that Jewel Taylor and the label behind him, the studio that's behind him, I think they collaborated with Jamie. They saw an opportunity, especially when the rumors about him being cloned came out. This movie was already significant. These rumors helped to give this movie more leverage, to make it more interesting to people. And boom, you got collaboration between passion, between a man's real life medical crisis and capitalism, all collaborating and colluding together to bring about what has been brought about. Stay prayed up. I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted to discuss that, girl. Some folks think that Jamie is an AI. Some people are saying that he's skinny. He should be skinny. He was on his ass for months. You know, he wasn't able to work out. And, you know, telling if they had him on some type of a liquid diet. He did say that he was being fed. I mean, that he was hit to tubes. So he probably wasn't eating solid foods for a while. I mean, he might have been the way that Jamie Foxx described the situation. He basically sounds like he's saying that he damn near died, that they had to bring him back to life. So there might have been a point where Jamie Foxx was in somewhat of a coma for a while. So he should be skinny. He wouldn't be as bulky as he once was, because he was on his ass. He was hospitalized. He was immobilized. He couldn't be in the gym. He wasn't lifting weights. He wasn't physically active. He wasn't eating, you know, a high calorie diet. You know, when you are hospitalized and you got a serious medical crisis, they appropriate all that shit, baby. On top of you being immobilized, they put you on a very strict diet. He might have been in a coma somewhere for a while. He might have been on a feeding tube. He the one who said he had tubes coming all up out of him. And I believe he doesn't want to talk in a nuanced way, in a particular way, about exactly what happened, because he don't want to have his future gigs shortchanged and put doubt in directors who might consider him from roles and say, hey, he might be a damn liability. He's talented. We know he's capable, but he done had a heart attack. He got heart issues and he got brain issues now. You know, we can't afford, you know, that liability. It's too costly. It's too risky. So I think he's staying silent for the sake of his career going forward. And I absolutely believe that he took a payout from the studio as it relates to let the narrative run, because we all can benefit from that. You would get an extra check. Jewel can get an extra boost as a director. This movie can get extra attention brought to it, which has an important message. You know, it was a benefit. It was a benefit. It benefited everybody. It benefited everybody. And I believe he probably had a mini stroke and a heart attack because of the stress of the trial and being overworked. So, and well played hand, but not played enough to fool no damn body. But in terms of well played, in terms of it's just interesting how clever the human mind is and how capitalism works and how opportunistic people can be. But it wasn't so well played, baby, that it went over anybody's head. So that's my hypothesis, Shy. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. I wasn't able to read the whatchamacallit like that. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We got to get into some Carly. We got to get into a lot of things. Y'all know all donation information is in the link below. And I got to get in Patreon and talk about all this drama going on with bad boys, girl. They out here dragging each other, girl, fighting each other in clubs and ish. There's a lot going on. So I'll be in Patreon tomorrow as well. And yeah, I'm going to see if I can link this WPEC 12 clip because someone sent it to me. But it's like they recorded it, so it's not like a link. But I'm see if I can find it. If I can find them talking about the ban on the stabs, I'm gonna link it in the description box and all of that. See you guys later. Peace.